Hi everyone, my name is Neeraja Chavan and I am currently studying at Symbiosis Law School, Pune for the 3-year LLB course. Some basic introduction about myself would be I have completed my graduation in BA Liberal Arts from Savitribai Phule Pune University, IDSS department. My major was psychology and my minor was law. I have lived in Pune my whole life and I'm just making this video to give future aspirants a better idea of what's going to be in the exam, what can they ask in the interview, stuff like that. The main reason why I'm making this video is because when I was giving the exam, I had no idea what was going to be in the question paper because there were no past papers for this particular AIAT entrance exam. As well as the interview, I had some doubts about, what can they ask me? What answers should I be giving them? So I'm basically just making this video for future aspirants who just want to get some clarity. So first, let's start by talking about the college itself. So SLS Pune, which is short for Symbiosis Law School Pune, is based in Maharashtra, Pune, and it is one of the top private colleges in India for studying 3-year LLB. And there are several courses offered in our campus. So there are two 5-year LLB courses, there's an LLM course and a 3-year LLB course, which is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So about the course, the LLB course is, as I said, a 3-year program. The eligibility for this program is you have to complete a bachelor's degree in any field of your choice. It can be science, it can be arts, it can be anything. You can do any bachelor's and then you're eligible for the 3-year LLB program. And this is one of the reasons that I actually think that when you're doing law, you should prefer to do the 3-year LLB course because you get a variety of people in your class. I have some classmates who are PhD graduates, some of them are master's graduates, most of them are not from the arts field, which helps to bring about different perspectives in the class. Another reason is that if you were not sure during your 12th if you wanted to pursue law or not, so this would be a good option that you can, do your bachelor's degree in any field, and then later when you have more maturity and you have decided that you want to finalize on your law career, you have the option to take the 3-year LLB course and pursue it. So coming to the other details like the fees, so it's 3 lakhs per annum for me, at least as an Indian student. The other details I think are available on the website. If you just go under the details for the 3-year LLB course, I will put a link for that in my the description of this video. So if you want to check out the actual technical details, you can go through that link and get a better idea of it because yeah, that's just some like static information that you can just get from there. It's nothing really about my perspective. So about the entrance eligibility for this course, as I said, first of all, you need to complete any bachelor's degree. And the second requirement is you have to give the AIAT entrance exam, which is the All India Admissions Test. And this is a computer-based test. And before it used to be home proctored, like you could give it on your computer by sitting at home. But for me and for my batchmates, it was computer based but at a center, so we had to go to the center and then give it on the computer. The format has not changed, just the mode of giving the exam has changed from home based proctor to computer based center based tests. After this exam, there'll also be an interview for those who have passed the exam round, so I'll be talking about that as well in this video. So the AIAT entrance test is a computer based test. The AIAT comprises of, first is a writing sample, which is a descriptive answer. You will have to answer 2 subjective questions, which will be for 20 marks each, and you will get 65 minutes for both of those questions, like 40 marks, 65 minutes. And you will also have 10 MCQs, which will be of 20 marks, so 2 marks for each MCQ. And these will be related to socio-legal, politico-legal, current affairs topics, and these will be for 20 minutes. And after this, there will be a psychometric test of 20 minutes, which will be of 10 marks. Essentially, first you start right. If you get the MCQs first, so for MCQs, you have 20 minutes for 10 questions, right? So 20 minutes, that section will be displayed and you have to answer those questions. And after 20 minutes, it will automatically shift to the next section. Once you have moved forward to the next section, you cannot go back and answer the MCQs. So that was one thing that was different because in other exams, it's like you have a total time limit, 120 minutes or whatever, and then in that time limit you can choose how you want to divide your time, like how many minutes you want to give to MCQs, how much time you want to give to essay writing. But in this exam, the time is fixed for each section and you cannot shift from one section to another. You have to complete each section one by one. So that is one thing you have to ensure, because what you may think is that, MCQs will just take 5 minutes. I don't need 20 minutes for that. So I can just use that 15 minutes extra in the essay writing. It won't be like that because, as I said, it is going to shift from section to section. So you will only have 65 minutes for the essay writing part, not 1 minute more. Okay. So let's get into each of these sections and what is going to be asked in that, like what was asked in that for me at least. So for the first part, which was MCQs of 10 questions, so in that, again, there was just basic current affairs related topics like, I don't remember the questions exactly, but it was very basic. Like one of them was, what is the name of what is the title of the case for same-sex marriage? So they will give you options and then you just have to choose. So that was Superior versus Union of India. That was the answer. So I ticked that, and they were just basic 10 questions related to all of this. It can also be related to constitution, some basic articles, or current affairs, like I said. Then the second part for me was essay writing. So in that there were 2 essays. You have to answer both of them in 65 minutes total. Thinking of like 20 marks, they should approximately be 1000 words per essay. There is no word limit or word counter for the exam. So you just have to estimate that it has been, you have written 1000 words. And the last part of this AIAT test was the psychometric test. I'm a psychology student, so I'm pretty familiar with these tests. But in case you're not, psychometric tests are just simple tests for people to understand your personality. So in the psychometric test, basic questions are like, how do you deal with stress? Good, average, bad. So it's just an understanding of your personality. There are no right and wrong answers, but the test is still contributing to 10 marks of your exam. So some more tips about how to prepare for this, which I have discussed with my classmates as well, and also the tips that I followed during my preparation for the exam. So the first one was that watch YouTube videos. Like if you are someone who doesn't, religiously read newspapers every day, I am one of those people. I don't read newspapers and news articles every single day. So to keep up with this, what I did was I watched YouTube videos. So there were a few channels that I would recommend, and I will put the links in the description as well. But just to make sure that I'm covering them, there's ADDA 247, Parcham classes, Law Digest, Current Affairs Updated, StudyIQ, IAS. So these 5 channels are the ones that I watched religiously. I watched their weekly videos, their daily current affairs, their monthly current affairs, and the yearly compilation of the current affairs. So yeah, watching these YouTube videos was like the fastest and most efficient way that I found to prepare for this exam, because I started preparing 4 months before the exam. So that's not a lot of time. Ideally, if you do start preparing a year in advance, then you don't need to cram the yearly and monthly YouTube videos. But if you are studying just a few months before the exam, this method works really well, and you should check out these YouTube channels and keep yourself updated. Oh, and also Finology Legal. That is one channel that is really good. So yeah, check out those channels, and those videos are like, you'll have a good idea about all of the current affairs topics. So this was for the MCQs. For the essay writing, what I would recommend is take out 20 current affairs topics that are going on around you. So when I was giving the exam, I had made a list of 20 topics. So I think Jallikattu, electoral bonds, obviously. Then there was a Maldives issue happening, with India, anti-India. So Israel, Palestine, all of this, I had written down these topics, and I had done thorough research into each of these topics so that I could write a 1000-word essay in case any of these topics come up. So you just have to prepare, like just recap and get good, deep knowledge about any 20 current affairs topics. And I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them will come in the options, and you can write an essay on it. The essay is like, so there you have to write 2 essays, but you will be given 2 options for each essay. So total 4 options, you have to choose any 2 and write the essay on it. So if you just prepare 20 thoroughly, that's a safe way of doing it. And that's pretty much it about the AIAT entrance test and how to prepare for it. If you want just some basic information for the day of the exam things, so it was offline for me. You're not even allowed to take transparent files or anything inside, just a pen and ID. That's all that's allowed. When you go inside, they make you sit for around 40 minutes because they do all the login procedures and they take your picture. They'll give you 2 blank sheets of paper. So what I did was, as soon as I got those sheets, I jotted down everything that I remembered about these current affairs topics that were like freshly in my mind from revising it on the way to the entrance center. Overall, it's a pretty medium level test. It's not that difficult, it's not that easy. So if you just go in confidently, knowing that you know most of these answers, you'll be able to do it. Now for the interview. So first I will read you some basic points about the interview that are from the website. So the personal interview, or the PI, is of 30 marks total. The schedule for the online PI will be released after the AIAT has been conducted, and those students who have qualified for the interview will be notified about it. Each candidate gets a maximum of 8 minutes for their PI. But honestly, when I was giving the interview, I was not really focused on the time, because the interviewers are really nice and they make sure that you don't feel uncomfortable or they're not dragging out the interview. One more important, very important thing is that I didn't know about until the very last moment, was that after your AIAT, you're expected 3 more things before your interview. So just prepare them. Even if you are, you're thinking, oh, I might not qualify for the interview, why should I prepare? Still, just keep these 3 things prepared. First one is a letter of recommendation. So you can either have 1 or 2 from any head of the department or any senior faculty from your department, and you need compulsory letter of recommendation. Second thing you need is a statement of purpose. This statement of purpose, it's challenging because it is only 250 words, and it is a very important part, because in the interview they will actually question you based on your statement of purpose, your letter of recommendation, and the third thing is your CV. So in the statement of purpose, you basically have to include why you want to join Symbiosis Law School Pune, why you want to do LLB, and what are some characteristics about yourself, or just in general, just Google statement of purpose essentials and just write about it. And it's 250 words. So just write a lot and then compress it to 250 words. Make sure it is cogent, it is precise. You want to get in all the information, but you only have 250 words. So you need to make sure that whatever you're writing is like the 250 words that are going to get you into this college. Like, that's the mindset you should keep when you're writing the statement of purpose. Now for the CV. The CV is a compilation of all your academic, extracurricular, and other successes. So a template of the CV will be provided by SLS to you, and you just have to fill in the details that are mentioned there. So you can include anything that is relevant to what all you've covered in your graduation. If you have taken a gap year, make sure you include that as well. Mention work experience, mention volunteering, mention everything that you've done from maybe 10th, 11th onwards in your whole life. So just like pile it up in that. So your CV is going to be a main thing that they will ask you questions from. Your CV and your statement of purpose, they will ask you questions from these during the interview. So make sure that you're not lying on it, because if they ask you, you should be able to elaborate on that, whatever they ask you. So make sure that you're including things that are actually true. So for the format of this interview, now I'm going to talk about my experience, not what is written on the website. So this interview will be on Zoom. It will be home based. So you'll be provided a Zoom link and you have to join it, and it will be a group of people in that link. So I'm going to tell you very frankly, they told me 1 p.m. that I have to join, but I didn't know that I was going to be in a group of 13 other interviewees. By some chance, I was the 13th person in that group. So I had to wait till, I think it was 5:30 p.m. when they actually took my interview. It can be anytime, you just have to sit there, be prepared. They will give you all the instructions for the interview in an admit card that you'll get for the interview. So be in formal attire. That doesn't only mean clothes, that means your entire um, appearance. The interview, as far as I remember, whatever had happened, because this was a few months ago now, I'm not really recalling all the questions, but the first question they will ask you is to introduce yourself. So this is the most crucial question of your entire interview, because this is what will formulate the rest of the questions that the interviewers will ask you. Be precise related to law. So talk about, first introduce yourself, talk about your background educationally, then you can talk about where you're from if you want to, and you want to include the key points that you've mentioned in your CV or your statement of purpose, that why you want to do law, why you want to do it from Symbiosis, and what are your future goals. So these three things should be covered. So what I did was, I watched some YouTube videos about the perfect introduce yourself answer. So you can watch YouTube videos like that. There are several available of people who make these for professional interviews and they're giving it for jobs. So these kind of videos will help you to get a good introduce yourself answer. The most important thing that they're going to look at is your confidence and how you're speaking to them. So if it helps, ask a friend or ask a family member to video call you, and then you can give a mock interview to them. So I did that with a couple of my friends. I just told them that, okay, these are the questions that they're most probably going to ask me, so just ask them to me and just tell me what I'm doing. So the questions, as I said, will be in a kind of chain reaction format almost. So first, they asked me to introduce myself, and I did. And in my future goals, I stated that I want to eventually have my own law firm. Their question was, why do you want to have your own law firm? So I told them that I have certain qualities like leadership, and those qualities will be best applied in a scenario where I have my own firm and I can work with a team. So then they asked me, what is a leader? What is a good leader? What, according to you, are good qualities of a leader? So they asked me various things about leadership. Okay. After that, they asked me about psychology. So I had written a research paper during my graduation about body dysmorphia. So they asked me about that, like what is body dysmorphia and what was the research paper about, basic stuff like that. So like I said, whatever you mention in your CV, they will ask you about it. Then after that, they asked me about law, since that was my minor as well, and obviously that's the subject that I'm applying for. So they asked me to state any one legal thing that is going on. So I told them about the electoral bond scheme. They told me to elaborate. So just have some mock interviews. It will be fine. They won't ask you about what is this section and what is this article from the Constitution. They won't ask all of that. It'll just be basic information. Whatever you say, they will ask you about that. So they will ask you more in depth related to that. So if you are a science background student, they might ask you about something related in your field, like in science. If you've done chemistry, they'll ask you about chemistry. If you've done math, they might ask you about math. So I had done psychology and I was asked some questions about psychology. Even if you don't get into the merit list, there's a good chance that you can get into the waiting lists. So don't be disheartened, because personally I was in the waiting lists. I didn't qualify for the first merit list that was released, and I was quite disheartened. I thought I'm not going to get into college, but surprisingly one day I just got the acceptance letter, and yeah, that's when I decided that finally I have the opportunity to make this video about the process. I've just come back from college and I'm making this video. So hopefully you have gotten good amount of information about the test, about the interview, and just how to prepare for it. To be very honest, most of my classmates and I have prepared for the NLSAT, which is the entrance exam for the NLSIU Bangalore 3-year LL.B program. And this preparation has helped us in the AIAT exam as well. So if you're also applying for the NLSAT, these are the same exact methods and studying techniques that you can use for that exam as well, because we did all of this preparation for that exam and we have gotten into SLS Pune. So that is the victory for all of us. So I hope that this video helps you. I hope you're able to get into the program. It is a really good program. The college is great. The faculty is great. There's a lot of opportunities for you to take part in extracurricular activities like debate competitions. There are a number of cells. So you will be completely engaged, and not just academically, but also in these other endeavors. So if you're one of those people who are preparing for NLSIU, I also would tell you that, apply for SLS Pune as well. And another plus point is that Pune is a great city. There's only 4 people in my class, I think, who are from Pune. The rest, all of them, like out of 60-70 students, all of the others are from outside Pune. And most of them have the same feedback, that the weather is amazing. It's really clean. There's a lot of activities to do here. Since the location of the college is right in the center of the happening places, which is Viman Nagar, there's a lot of malls there. There's a lot of things to do. And yeah, you will have a great time. So if you do apply, if you do get in, just make sure to make the most of it in whatever you do. Thank you for watching. And if you do have any more questions about this, feel free to comment. And if I do see the comment, I will reply, because I don't really post that often. But I will reply to your comment whenever I see it. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you. And see you in see you in SLS. Thank you for watching. Bye.